Hey everyone, it's Sam Ovens here and welcome to week 4 of the Consulting Accelerator training program. And week 4 is all about the alchemy of client attraction. And what that is basically the art and the science of how we attract prospects to us. So how we attract potential clients to us so that we can get on a strategy session with them and we can go through our sales script and we can convert them into a paying client. So in week 4, we're going to be talking about how to attract clients to us. Now, this first video here, it's a brief video, and it's a very important video because I'm talking about falling for the trap. And what this video is all about is the big trap which I see everyone fall for at about this stage in the training program and at about this stage of starting a business and starting your own consulting business. I see so many entrepreneurs get fooled by this one, and it's one you definitely want to be aware of so that you can ignore it and make sure that you don't get caught in this trap. So here's a brief overview of what we're going to cover today. So we're going to start off with where you should be at in this training program right now as you're watching this video. And then I'm going to discuss the big mistake that most people make when it comes to marketing and client attraction. And then we're going to discuss proof of concept. And this should be the only goal that's on your mind right now. So right now, the only thing you should be thinking about is proof of concept. And we're going to discuss that. And then we're going to talk about how all massive fires start with a pilot light first, and then they add accelerant to it. So they add additional gas or fuel to it after they first ignite a pilot light. And this is a really powerful metaphor and example of how you should start your own consulting business, because most people do it all back the front, and most people do it in a way which doesn't work, and it ends up just not working at all, and it ends up taking a lot of time and getting all complicated and all of that. So this metaphor is going to make a lot of sense to you, and I'm going to explain that. And then we're going to discuss about keeping it real simple. At this stage of the training program, we just want to keep it as simple as possible and just make sure that we're ticking off and achieving the most important things, because that's all you need to build a consulting business and massive wealth. Is you just need to execute on those key important things, and you can pretty much forget about everything else. So let's start with where you should be at in this training program right now. So you should have your niche offer result hypothesis worksheet complete. You should also have your message hypothesis worksheet complete. And you should have edited the sales script and adjusted it to you, your niche, and your offer, and you should have practiced it a couple of times, and you should be really comfortable with it. So at this point, you should have all 3 of these things done and ready to go to market. And in week 4, which we're in right now, we're going to go to the market. We're going to start talking to people. We're going to start making some sales and taking some action. And at this stage of the program, we have everything we need to go to the market for real-world testing and establishing your proof of concept. And the only thing we need to do in this next stage is to test your hypotheses, iterate, and establish a proof of concept. But there's something to watch out for, something that trips most entrepreneurs up. And this is the big mistake that most people make when it comes to marketing and client attraction. I see people make this one all the time at this stage, and you definitely want to watch out for this. And what they do is they obsess over technology, funnels, and Facebook ads and other shiny objects that are quite simply not important at this stage. And I see it happen to people all the time. And it goes like this. You have an idea to start a business, which is, why you joined this program. And in week 1, we kind of did some discovery around what that idea is. So what's your niche? What are you going to offer them? And what's the desired result which you're going to help people achieve? And what's the messaging around all of that? And we really fleshed out your idea. And we came up with, hypothetically, what sort of consulting business you want to start. So that's the first thing most people do. Then the second thing is research and planning. So that's, again, done in week 1, creating the hypothesis worksheets, the niche offer result worksheet, and the message hypothesis worksheet. So we kind of do some research and some planning. And then it's time to start taking action, which is pretty much right now. We've got everything together, and now it's time to go out and talk to some real-life people in our niche and try and make some sales. And everything's going well until this point, and people are ready to go to the market and start speaking to people, and it's all about ready to start making money and getting customers, and then, they just disappear into a black hole, which is all about these things here. So, people get to this stage and then, they just disappear. And they get sucked into this black hole of Facebook ads, funnels, fancy websites. They get all obsessed about social media accounts. They've got to have a Twitter, they've got to have a Facebook, they've got to have an Instagram. And, when you try and manage like 10 social media accounts, that's a full-time job, so you've got no time to do anything else. And when you try and make a perfect website, which has fancy photos on it and nice designs and all of that, well, that's like a multiple-month job. And so if you try and do all of these things, you just get sucked into this black hole, which is, to achieve all of these things, it takes like more than a year. And so at this stage, all we need to do is go out and get a customer and go out and sell something and speak to our market. That's all we need to do. But people invent things to avoid the important. And the important thing is going to the market and getting a customer. But people kind of disappear into this black hole of all of this technology and everything. I also see people get obsessed about fancy logos and designs. They think they need business cards. They think they need like a fancy logo. They think they need like mugs with their logo on it. They think they need all of these different things. And they also think they need all of this different software. And the truth is you don't need any of this stuff right now. And touching technology and paid advertising before establishing a proof of concept is like opening Pandora's box. Without a proof of concept, you will get lost in there and forget why you entered it to begin with. And here's the common fallacies distorting the truth in the market right now when it comes to these things. This is why people get sucked into that black hole. And here they are. One of them is funnels make you successful. A lot of people think that the reason why someone is successful is because of a funnel, like a marketing funnel. Or they think if you have like some sort of funnel software, that's what makes you successful. People also think that Facebook ads make you successful. People think that fancy websites and designs and blogs make you successful. Like you've just got to write a ton of content, give lots of free value, and have an amazing design and all these photos of you and these logos like New York Times and all these things on your site. And people think that you need a massive web presence and social media presence and a massive following of people to make you successful. And people also think that you need all this technology and software and that makes you successful. And people believe that these things here make people successful. And that couldn't be further from the truth. All of these fallacies are wrong. These aren't the things which make people successful. And tools, technology, and your image and your appearance and fame don't make you successful. Believe me, I know a lot of people that have a lot of fame and way more fame than me. I know people that have written books and have so many followers and they're so famous. And if I said their names, then you would know who they are and you would think, well, that person would make more money than me because they're so famous. But I know behind the scenes what their numbers are and they're way less than mine. And so I know for a fact that fame doesn't make you successful because I know a lot of people who are very famous and don't really have that much money. And it's more of just like an appearance and an image. And the truth is these things do not make you successful. And a lot of people believe that these things make people successful, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And what makes people successful is solving people's problems and getting paid. So you've just got to identify a niche market. You've got to